Dave, how was qualifying?
It was quite eventful actually. I had a little coming together with David Young, and then I think Bob Bennett's lost power going up into the first corner, and we had to have a trip across the grass, but you know, qualifying fourth, it's not too bad really.
And you ended up coming in early, did you?
Yeah, I only did 6 laps. I was testing yesterday, so I knew the car was pretty well on the money, so not a problem.
Had you stayed out, would you have qualified any higher than that?
Maybe, but usually within your first sort of 4 or 5 laps you've got your lap in. But looking at the lap times now, everybody did get a little bit quicker, so yeah, maybe. But I'm happy with that.
And in terms of the damage, there's obviously some bits being fixed down here. What exactly have you done?
It's only just very, very light body damage. There's just a bump of the wheel arch and a little scratch on the wing, but Dave's just getting it all together now and it'll be fine.
Jim, is this part in your hand here important?
Well, it's not that important, but we noticed there's a bit of a knock from the front suspension and it's coming from this rose joint, and as we've got some spares we thought we might as well change it for the race, but it's not going to improve his lap times, I don't think, but we hope it makes it more reliable.
And I see you've got your little mechanic down here.
Yes, without him we would be lost. He's now leading the team, and I'm sure in a couple of years he'll be driving better than his dad. But that's yet to be proved.
But he certainly seems to want to be a racing driver. Look at him go.
Yes. He does seem to know about all the parts, and we haven't really led him astray. We've tried not to, but he seems to have a natural gift for getting dirty on the car.
How long have you been racing in this series?
I started off in '99 with Bob Bennett's really well. He started the year previous, and he gave me the bug. I'll come and watch it a few times. That was it. I had to do it. So yeah.
And that's a long time. What keeps you coming back?
I don't know really. There's a great crowd. You know, we have a good time. It's very competitive, but like if you look around behind me now or in front of me, they're all helping each other out, doing engine changes and all the rest of it. So that's a lot to do with it. And Roger's not a bad old chap either.
You'd never consider going anywhere else?
I have done a few other things. I've got another car which I've done a few other championships with, but it's a cheaper way a good motorsport, you know. So yeah.
Mark, gorgeous looking car here. Now you've done Mighty Minis and Supers. What made you move up?
The first thing that made me move up was last year I killed the car, unfortunately, put a con rod through the side of the engine. So the decision was either rebuild it as a standard or move up to Supers, and we thought we'd give it a go. So here we are.
And you've done one race before in Supers, have you?
Last race last year at Silverstone didn't work too well. Unfortunately, the car wasn't up to speed at all. So here we are today, qualified 13th, I think, today. We'll see how it goes.
Bob, you've won the Mighty Minis, you've won the Super Mini Championships as well. What keeps you coming back?
I don't know really. Glutton for punishment, I would imagine. It's just a brilliant friendship. All my friends do it. When I won the championship back in, 2000 or whatever, all my mates that competed in minis thought there couldn't be any skill in it because I won the championship, so they've all started doing it.
And you've proven that there is skill in it, have you?
Well, unfortunately, some of them have won the championship after me as well and beat me, so, it's not all swings and roundabouts.
Chris, you've managed to get the car going then?
Yeah, just about. Well, it's a bit of an experiment. We're not really sure what's going to happen as yet, but just got to give it a go really and see what happens.
Where are you starting from on the grid?
I have no idea whatsoever. 1, 2, 3, 4. I think it's about 13, 14, something like that. So yeah, we'll see if we can improve on that.
Best of luck. Thanks a lot. As the Supers now head out to take their grid positions, we're promised plenty of action.
Yes, and thank you, Gemma. On the front row of the grid, we have Scott Kendall in car number 8 and Elliot Stafford in car 51. Thankfully, again, we also have quite a few cameras in all of these cars, so it gives you a chance to actually see what these drivers have to put up with in one of these races. And here we have red lights on. red lights off, and away we go. And it is definitely, as we look down the front, no, look at Pat Ford, he's gone backwards there in car 77. As they all make their way around him, we see Nev Kirkpatrick there in car 11. It is definitely, as we look towards the front, it's definitely Scott Kendall in the lead, but as we were going up into Coppice there for the first time, we saw 3 cars abreast. That was Bob Bennett, Elliot Stafford and Dave Rees all fighting for the second place. It does look as though Bob Bennett has made it stick and has gone through. And as we're here, we're on board now with, that's James Young in car number 12. In front of him we have his brother in car 44, David Young. 2 brothers, 2 of the other brothers I should say, in this championship, because we do have the Kirkpatrick brothers in car 10 and car 11. They have this distinctive colour scheme of red and grey on their cars, and sometimes again it is rather difficult to be able to detect who is who unless you actually see the front of the car coming at you, and you normally see Nev on the front of that car. But here we are on board with Bob Bennett in car number 9, coming down towards the mountain for the first time. It is Scotty Kendall very much on the edge of that car as they come through there up to the mountain for the first time. Scotty Kendall in the lead from Bob Bennett and Dave Rees. And very much like the standard Mighty Minis, all of these cars run on the gas shock absorbers and the Yokohama tyres, but unlike the standard Mighty Minis, which run on the A539 tyres, these actually run on the 048R tyres, slightly gummier and actually work a little better because these cars are actually certainly faster than the standard Mighty Minis. They're 10 kilos lighter, but they just tend to go into the bends a lot faster, and they need that extra adhesion to be able to make it through the bend. But here we see Scotty Kendall in car 8, definitely in the lead from Bob Bennett, and Dave Rees in car 7. But look at car 51, he's definitely closing the gap up to Dave Rees as they go up through Coppice, and now we're on board with James Young in car 12 on the back of Pat Ford in car 77 as they go through Charlie's now and dip down into Park Straight. And on board with Tim Harbour in car 71, looking down Park Straight at all the action going off in front of him. Chris Morgan all over the back of Dave Kirkpatrick there as they head up towards Park. And Dave Kirkpatrick has the better line because he's got the inside line and he could probably manage to outbrake Chris Morgan into that corner. However, Chris Morgan does look as though he's going to commit to the outside. He does. And flashing through on the inside there is Dave Young in car 44 as they go down towards Chris Curve and the mountain. And this again is one of the more exciting parts of this circuit. We're going down towards the gooseneck now. As you see, the cars move to the right and then flick left. Here we are looking at Pat Ford doing just that as they go into the right-hander and down the hill into Mansfield. We can see Nev Kirkpatrick kicking up some dust there in front. But look at little Scotty Kendall, he's sitting pretty ahead of Bob Bennett, and Dave Rees still hanging on to 3rd. However, car 51, Elliot Stafford all over the back of him. And then we can see now Chris Morgan is making his way up to that front pack as they go up towards Hall Bends. Who knows, maybe we can actually see Chris Morgan challenge for the lead. And on board now with car 33, Neil Fernley squealing his tyres up the mountain as he heads down towards Hall Bends. On board with Bob Bennett in car 9, chasing down Scott Kendall for the lead as they go towards Coppice. We all know that Bob is never a man to settle for second, and he's steering up the exhaust pipe of Kendall. Look at that, he's closing the gap on him. But what's that flashing through? It is Chris Morgan in 2nd place from 15th on the grid in car 42, braking there. We see him left foot braking going through Charlie's as they drop down now, down Park Straight towards Park Corner. And on board with ex-rally crossman car 33, Neil Fernley, and there he does, he's taken to the grass, true rallycross style. On board with James Young, look at Cruzy in car 46 going wide there into Park as they go towards Chris Curve and head down towards the gooseneck. As we all know, this is the most fantastic part of the circuit for drivers because you carry a lot of speed in there. Dave Rees ahead of James Young in car 7, that pea green coloured car, throwing it right, throwing it left and downhill into Mansfield. And it is Chris Morgan in 2nd, chasing down Kendall now to try and take the lead from him. Bob Bennett, however, is not letting Chris Morgan have it his own way. Bob Bennett's in car 9, but look at little Elliot Stafford in car 51, trying, and this is really turning into a fantastic race. And even behind what we would consider as the front pack, it is all going off at the back, and it is Nev Kirkpatrick leading this pack of cars as they come through Hall Bends at the moment. Nevin, always known to be a man that will fight you to the death, and he is absolutely throwing that car around. And we see Dave Young there trying to close the gap with Dave Rees in car 7, right on their bumper. But as we look down, in fact, I got that all wrong. It's actually Dave Kirkpatrick. I did say it was difficult to sometimes distinguish between the Kirkpatrick brothers, and it is Dave Kirkpatrick in the lead there, with Nevin Kirkpatrick chasing down James Young in car 12 at the back of that second pack. It is absolutely fantastic. This is true Mighty Minis racing. No matter where you are, there's absolute ding-dong racing going on. Fantastic entertainment. However, these Yokohama tires are probably now warming up, so you'll see these cars moving around a little bit more than what they were earlier on. Very exciting racing. And it is the last lap. Unfortunately, we don't have Chris Morgan in the mix here, which has allowed Scotty Kendall to take a formidable lead from car 51. That's Elliot Stafford. But looking down the back here, as I said earlier on, it's all going off. Nev Kirkpatrick up the inside of James Young. They touch. James Young's across the grass. Nev Kirkpatrick there, doesn't make it stick. Nev tries back to the inside as they go towards Hall. It's not going to work. And look at Dave Kirkpatrick with a sister car. You see the difficulty, what I was saying. These cars are absolutely identical, apart from what's written on the grille. Scotty Kendall takes the win. Fantastic effort here at Cadwell Park, and it is Elliot Stafford from the stalwart Bob Bennett, and look behind, it is Pat Ford, after having a very poor start, crossing the line 4th. And it is Dave Kirkpatrick leading the next pack over the line. Dave finishing 5th. Fantastic effort by him.
You made that look easy, Scott.
Yeah, it seemed easy, but no, it was hard work. Trying to get away from the other pack of cars, obviously to get a distance, and then with the others starting to try and fight amongst each other rather than, like Roger normally says, is work together. It managed to get me a fair gap on the pack behind me.
And did you enjoy the race?
Yeah, it's all right, but it's nice to have a race with another car with you and exchange paint as such. But no, it was good. It's I don't know, I've always wanted to win here, and we've managed to do it this year.
Elliot, you were pushing really hard throughout that race.
Yeah, I know. I didn't get a particularly good start and got a bit too much wheel spin, and it took probably about 3 laps for the tyres to come in, and so I lost a few places, and then I thought, well, I can't sit here forever, so I just kind of pushed as hard as I could and managed to get Dave up the back there in the right-hander, and then did the same to Bob the following lap, and then by that point Scott had gone, so just kind of trying to keep Bob behind for the whole race.
Bob, did you enjoy that race?
I did very much. I forgot what it's been, like to dice at the front like that for a long time. The season I had last year, so yeah, it was brilliant. Really enjoyed it.
You were certainly put through your paces, weren't you?
I was put through my paces. Yes, you were right with these young lads, but I think we're getting there on the car at long last. So I don't think they're going to get it all their own way this year.
That's it from us here today at Cadwell Park. Not only have we had glorious sunshine, but as always with the Minis, we've had close and exciting racing. This championship now packs up and moves on to Croft, but make sure you join us right here on Race.tv very soon for more features from the Minis, from the Lotus Elise Trophy, and of course from GT Cup.